Before we start the video, I'd like to give a little warning that the first section here isn't going to actually have any gameplay. It's going to be all about the new rule set that I wrote for this game mode. If you want to skip it, feel free to jump ahead to whatever time I put on screen right here, and there is a link in the description to the rules, so if you want to look over them yourself, you can feel free to do so. Let's talk about rules. Why do humans create rules? What are the effects of rules on our greater society? In John Locke's work of political philosophy, Two Treatises of Government, he posits that laws are formed to mitigate the arbitrary and random nature of human decision, or as he puts it, to avoid sudden thoughts or unrestrained until that moment unknown wills without having any measures set down which may guide and justify their actions. Now, you may be asking yourself, rightfully so, what the hell does John Locke have to do with RuneScape? I came here to see level up messages and to feel that sweet, sweet secondhand dopamine. While I understand your concerns, I believe that there's more connection here than initially meets the eye. Okay, for real though, why are we talking about rules? Well, long story short, the rules that I put forward last episode were garbage. They were arbitrary, rushed, and badly thought through, and I can do better than that. So, I went ahead and wrote a new comprehensive objective set of rules to define my one chunk at a time Iron Man. The main problem with the previous rule set was that it was vague and only really defined the general concept of the game mode. It left all the specifics up in the air, and that caused some problems. For example, in the starting chunk, why didn't I have to burn a yew log? Why didn't I have to fletch a yew longbow? Why didn't I have to get the woodcutting skill cape? What exactly is a best-in-slot item, and would a bronze scimitar or a steel axe be better? Why didn't I have to spin wool until I got enough crafting to cut the emeralds I got? These problems aren't even all of them, and that's just in the starting chunk. Obviously, something was wrong with the rules, so I went ahead and wrote a new set of rules, focusing on being as specific and inclusive as possible. It's by no means perfect, but I think it's a hell of a lot better than the garbage from last episode. It's relatively self-explanatory, so check it out for yourself in the description, but here are some of the most important parts. Underground areas are not limited by chunks, but rather accessible area without using transportation. This means that when I unlock the entrance to an underground area, I unlock the entire area as long as I can walk to it. This does not include forms of transportation like minecarts or ferry boats unless I already have access to both the start and end of the transportation method as defined by this rule. Cannot use teleports or transport methods unless both start and end of the transports are unlocked. This is why I can't use the canoe until I unlock more northerly chunks, otherwise I'd be exiting the playable area. A chunk is considered complete when all of the following criteria are met. Number 1. All new best-in-slot drops, shop items, and rewards have been obtained and equipped for all 3 combat styles. Note how it's worded, drops, shop items, and rewards. This is done intentionally to exclude methods of obtaining items such as smithing and crafting, although, if you're a fan of those skills, don't fret, they will be important later. The logic behind this is that smithing and crafting items as a concept isn't specific to a chunk, but the material that they are made out of is. Keep this in mind, I'll come back to it. Something that I haven't addressed yet is that best in slot is a relatively arbitrary term that I haven't defined. So how are we going to quantify the bestness of each item? Well, I actually made a formula just for that, which I call the Power Approximation Quotient, or PAQ, as seen here. You take the highest attack bonus, plus its melee or range strength, and divide by the attack speed. Here's an example of it in use to clear up a problem from last episode. What's better, a bronze scimitar or a steel axe? Well, if we plug in the stats for each item, we find that the bronze scimitar has a PAQ of 3.25, while the steel axe has a PAQ of 3.4. Case closed, the steel axe is better than the bronze scimitar. Just for fun, here are some PAQs of some common weapons, along with a PAQ for the mithril battle axe we're using now. This equation also works for ranged weapons, but best-in-slot magic weapons will be determined by boosts to magic damage, then by magic accuracy. Of course, the power approximation quotient isn't perfect. Honestly, it might not even be good. I'm not too knowledgeable when it comes to the actual mechanics behind combat in RuneScape. What I do know is that it's simple and understandable, and it's a good enough approximation to be workable. Instead of calculating DPS with every weapon while taking into account my own attack and strength levels along with the defense of the enemy, I can use a quick and digestible formula to keep things rolling along, and that's all I need. Number 2 and number 3. All possible quests have been progressed as far as they can, and all possible diary tasks have been completed. This is pretty self-explanatory. The only real difference is that even if a quest isn't fully completable, I need to do as much as I can until I can no longer progress. Something that I noticed in the previous episode is that people were asking, well, the recipe for disaster begins in this chunk. Why aren't you completing that until moving to the next chunk? That's because for quests, in this chunk alone, I cannot complete recipe for disaster. I feel like that's pretty obvious. So I only need to complete the quests that I'm actually able to complete. And as I unlock more chunks, more and more quests will become possible. And whenever a quest is fully possible, that's when I need to complete the quest. And for every step that I can do, I have to do whatever steps I am able to do. So I'm going to have a lot of half-finished quests in sort of the mid-game. But that's basically the reason why I don't have to get Barrow's Gloves before moving on to the next chunk, because to do that, I have to have content from other chunks unlocked. Otherwise, it would be impossible to progress at all, and I'd be stuck in sort of a catch-22 stalemate where, in order to progress, I have to finish the quest, but in order to finish the quest, I have to progress. So that's the explanation there. Number 4. All active skilling challenges have been completed. Hold up a second, this is vague and unclear. What about the issue with fletching you longbows and burning you logs I addressed earlier? Well, don't worry, my lovely concerned viewer, because I put a word in bold. That's right. Active. All active skilling challenges have been completed. Well, that doesn't help. I don't know what that means. Well, good thing I have a spreadsheet just to clear that up for everyone. This spreadsheet defines a new classification system I've developed to show what skilling goals are needed before progressing to a new chunk. On the left you have active skilling, on the right you have passive. The important thing to note that distinguishes active skilling challenges is the term highest tier. You'll notice that almost all of the active skilling challenges include this language, and that is very much intentional. Highest tier is defined as highest level, repeatedly obtainable, intentionally grindable action specific to a chunk. So when you look at active skilling challenges, they mostly all share this definition in common. They're something that you can intentionally do in a specific area. This definition solves many of the problems I brought up earlier. According to this new classification system, I do have to burn a U-log in the first chunk, and I do have to fletch a U-log. But note that with skills such as fletching, smithing, and crafting, they're based around the material used, not the item made. This means that I do have to fletch a U-log, but I don't need to make a U-longbow specifically, which would be the best bow. I just have to fletch the U-log into something. And the first item I can fletch from a U-log is arrow shafts, which is sufficient to complete this skilling challenge. The reason I decided on this system is because it's the material used that's specific to the chunk. The end result is irrelevant. The same rules apply to smithing and crafting, for example. If I've unlocked mithril ore, coal, a furnace, and an anvil, I will need to mine the ore, smelt it into a bar, and then smith the bar into something, but it can be any smithable mithril item. The opposite of active skilling is passive skilling, and these are skilling goals that aren't really defined by a specific area or can't be actively intentionally grinded out, or both. This encompasses stuff like random events, imps, crops, prayers, and a whole host of other things that aren't on the spreadsheet. What's there is just to get the idea across. If you have any questions about this system or about any of the rules at all, feel free to ask either in the comments or if you prefer a more structured discussion, I'll be linking this video's Reddit thread in the description. I'd love to hear any and all feedback on the rules I've laid out. Also, as I mentioned before, a link to the rules is in the description, so you can see them all, including ones I didn't specifically address in this video. I'm very aware that the rules aren't perfect, so if you see any problems with them or any ways to improve them, please let me know. I'll try my best to improve the rules as much as possible. This is very much an evolving document, and I'm open to making changes if there are improvements to be made. Now that I've explained all that, let's start actually playing the game again. Crash course if you didn't watch the first episode. This is the world map of RuneScape is divided into chunks. They're the big square things. Look at the green one, that's Lumbridge. That's where we started. That's a chunk that we have to complete. We have to do everything in that chunk before we can unlock the next one. We unlock it randomly. If you want to know what we have to do, go back and watch the rules. Nerd, shouldn't have skipped that. Wow, RuneScape in a RuneScape video? What a surprise. Whoever thought we'd actually see the game ever again after all that nonsense. We actually have cheated. We didn't unlock this chunk over here. So basically the account's ruined. I'm going to delete it and start a new one, alright? So, Yeah, goodbye everyone. Thanks for watching. No, that's a joke. Get it? It's comedy. So the problem is that now, with our new definition of active skilling challenges, we actually still need to do some stuff in this first chunk here. The primary thing being, we have to chop down the yew tree, which we can do, of course. We've already done that. We have 60 wood cutting. But we also need to fletch the yew log that we get. So we need to fletch the yew log into anything. And like the initial thing you would think, oh, well, the easiest thing to fletch a yew log into is a yew short bow, right? But that is not the case because of an update a while back that made it so you can turn any type of logs into arrow shafts. So a requirement now is that we need to get 60 fletching in order to get the ability to fletch a yew log. And now I would like to note, because it's about the material, not about the end product, because that's basically what the active skilling challenges are. You take an item in an area and use that item you get. It doesn't matter what it turns into. So if this is for fletching, smithing, crafting, basically. So I just have to chop a log of the highest yew that we can, which is yew. We have to burn it, and we have to fletch it. So basically we need 60 wood cutting, 60 fire making, and 60 fletching. So that's the main thing here. While we're here, you know what? I'll talk about what the account has been. So it's been about a week since I released the first video. I haven't really played much at all. Like, I haven't played actively at all. But what I did a lot of was raking. Because you remember at the end of last video we were talking about the acorn we got. And I was thinking, well, maybe planting the acorn is going to be a challenge for this next episode. So you might have noticed when I did my skills tab earlier, we got to 9 farming through just raking and nothing else. So I was just kind of logging in, raking, and logging out. I was leaving it idle on the side. I wasn't really playing much, so I didn't do a whole lot apart from that. But along with that, so I was basically raking, and I would get some mind runes and air runes and just trick them from the tutor whenever I remembered. So I actually have a lot of mind runes and air runes, more than I thought I would ever have, because I didn't realize how quickly you could get them. You get them every half an hour, so you get 30 mind runes, 30 air runes every half an hour. It's very quick to do that. And also, I mean, we just killed some random stuff, got beads, some random stuff. We have a lamp from a random event, which I don't know what I want to use it in. I was thinking maybe we just want a lamp until 10 agility, because to get the first couple agility levels, we would need to go to the Gnome Stronghold, I think. We would have to. Or we would have to complete the Taurus Trap. Both of which are going to be annoying to do. But if we just lamp until 10 agility, then we can do the Drainer Rooftop, of course, and get our agility up way earlier than we otherwise would. That's my logic right now. I don't know if that's what I want to do yet, which is why I haven't actually used it, so I'm saving that for now. But that's what I think the most likely course of action is. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that would be a problem in terms of that, but I don't think there really would be. Now, is there anything else that I need to worry about? There is one thing. I'm going to go grab... So in our new rules, we have to complete quests up until the point that we can no longer complete them. And I think something that you might be able to do is just give the cook partial ingredients instead of giving him all 3 at once. So I think if I take the egg and the flour, I can just go give them to the cook, and that'll count as part of completing the quest. So that would be a requirement for completing this chunk, because we can do that. That's part of the quest, so why wouldn't we, right? So I'll go ahead, talk to the cook. Alright, so yeah, I was right. So that does work. All we need is a milk. So if we actually check our quest progress, we've done as much of this quest as we possibly can, because we can't get the milk without unlocking dairy cows, or some milk dropping enemy, which doesn't exist as far as I'm aware. So that's as much as we can do there. So I guess what I'll do now is start on the fire making and fletching grind. So that's going to be a good time. I'll do that now. The thing that I'm going to be starting with here, I need to get to 60 fire making, so I'm only at 15 right now. I can burn oaks, but that's the best I can do. So I'm just going to go start with oaks up to 30, then straight from 30 I'm just going to do willows until 60, because I mean there's not a whole lot else you can really do, right? So I guess I'll give some marginal progress updates. I don't know, we'll see what happens, but yeah, we're right back into this. I actually, honestly, I kind of missed this. It's such a dumb idea, but I really like doing this, and I don't know why. I think it's just because it's such an obnoxious and weird thing that there would be no reason to otherwise do. But it's just like, I'm just gonna get 60 fire making at Lumbridge Castle, and you can't stop me. I got so used to the woodcutting grind that I forgot how quick early levels are. It's been 2 inventories and we're already at 20 fire making, and this is actually insane. Now, of course, it's RuneScape, so we're actually only 0.7% of the way there. So it's not like this is gonna happen anytime soon. But it is pretty neat just getting quick levels, and I'm gonna relish it while it lasts because it's gonna start getting worse. I feel like 25 is one of the more satisfying low integers, because I mean, it's such a nice little slice of 100. You just have 4 of those and it makes 100. Like, isn't that satisfying? Just like think about the concept of 25. It's like 5 5s, but then 4 that makes 100. Like, that's crazy. Even though, like, you know, like literally every number can do that unless it's a prime number, in which case it can't. I mean, not like, you know what I'm saying though. Like, everything has factors. Everything is a factor. But you know, 25 is just very nice. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. Alright? Don't judge me. And that's 30 fire making, which means we're back to our old friend. I guess old friends, plural. The good old willow trees. That's not a willow tree, that's an oak tree. Good old willow trees. Also, that's outside the chunk anyway, so, you know. Look, it's been a while, okay? Now we get to chop these guys, something that we've gotten very used to. And our XP will increase a little bit. Currently, we are 3.9% of the way there, so it's going to be a little bit. But to be fair, you guys aren't experiencing that because this is a video and you are not experiencing this in real time. So you guys are good. Just, I guess, wish me luck even though you're in the future. So really that luck isn't going to work unless you can like send it back in time. Which, I mean, if you can do that, do it. That would be cool. Although I guess luck wouldn't even really help here because this is all just like numerically like set already. Like you don't RNG a certain XP. Although I guess technically if you got really lucky you could get like a log every tick and burn everything in 1 tick. So technically luck could help a little bit, but it's still going to take a while. I got level 35 fire making. Also total level 300 if that matters to you. Which is actually, I mean, honestly, that seems like kind of a lot, given that I haven't even trained, like, 60% of the skills. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, 7.4% of the way there, still a long ways to go. It's 40 fire making. Well, would you look at that? It's 61 wood cutting. Remember when 60 was unattainable and then we just happened to get 61 while we're doing other stuff? What a crazy time. That's over 300,000 woodcutting XP. So yeah, I mean, we're still gonna get a lot more because I mean we still gotta get our fire making all the way up to 60 and then we gotta get our fletching all the way up to 60. So honestly, I mean, this is going to be helpful in the future for whenever we unlock magic trees and eventually redwoods, although redwoods aren't going to be for literally 1 billion years because those are only in Zeah. But, you know, still, that's going to be pretty nice. I'm sure there's... Actually, I don't know where the nearest magic tree is because I'm sure there aren't any in free-to-play, so actually maybe magic trees are going to take forever too. But you know what? That's still good progress to have, and I'm happy about it. That right there is a milestone level that is completely useless to me because, just like with the wood cutting, we don't have maple logs. So I'm 1/5 of the way there, so only 4/5 more of just the willows. And actually, it's only been 1 day so far, so to be honest, and I haven't even played that much today. So it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Well, actually, I didn't really think it would be bad at all because fire making is pretty chill, so it's not a huge deal. But yeah, I'm definitely remembering how long this stuff takes. It's not even that long really in the grand scheme of things, but you know, when you're getting 3 level 60s from 2 willow trees, you know, it gets a little bit much. But you know what? That's what we're all about here at Dumb Game Modes Industries. That's not a real company. I made that up. Could you guys figure that out? Let's stop talking and continue playing. So I got the frog random event, and I didn't know that this could happen, but I said no, and I got turned into a frog and teleported to this little bog here, the frog bog, and I didn't know that was even an option. So this is a whole new line of content that I've never seen before. And it's pretty, I should probably actually complete it though. That was weird. Just recently crossed 100,000 XP, got 50 fire making. That's all meaningless. I mean, I guess we could do Wintertodt in 500 years, but you know. Also got 62 woodcutting at some point. So yeah, this is still surprisingly the first day of doing this, although I don't know if you can tell from my voice. I feel like it varies a lot in terms of tiredness. It's a little late right now, but not that late. I've played probably, actually I don't even know. Honestly, 100,000 farming XP is not that much. This is like really fast. Like, I said like about 3 times in the past 30 seconds. I should chill with that. But yeah, I'm just saying it's not as bad as the woodcutting was, and it's not as bad as the fletching is going to be, although thing about fletching is I've already done most of it, so, well, not most of it, I guess. I've done about half of it, I would imagine, because I want to say it doubles every 7 levels or so, so yeah, I've done about half of the fletching I need to do, unfortunately. So there's still going to be a lot of that to come, but, honestly, we're probably going to get, like, at least 65 woodcutting, like, minimum, so that's going to be interesting. But yeah, I'm going to continue on the fire making. Currently, wait, I think I said the percentage, but if I didn't, I'll just light one just to double check. Currently 36.8% of the way there. This could be important. It could also maybe not be important. Who knows? We'll only find out by doing it though, so I'll do it. That's what I would consider pretty good, actually. That should be useful, I suppose. This maybe not so much, but you know, I'll take what I can get. I'm not complaining. Wow. 55 fire making, 60% of the way there. That's pretty okay. We have gotten more experience than we need to gain. So only 100,000 more, plus another 6,000, but 100,000 is quicker to say. But at this point, the time I've saved is wasted because I've just gone into this. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. 56. You know I'm a real RuneScape content creator because I missed the past, like, 3 levels. But look at that, it's 57. Actually pretty close, honestly, almost 75% of the way there. So this is pretty reasonable. I got 58, that's pretty great, but I need 2 more levels till I'm satiate. 59 is what I got. Feeling fine cause these logs are hot. If I want to really succeed, 1 more level is all I need. If you told me I'd be 65 and making it at the start of this, I'd tell you that you maybe need to see a fucking therapist, but now the level's there, and my hands are in the air, and the logs are burning like they're Joan of Arc is standing up to bliss. The goal has been completed, but it's not the final bell. The chunk is not defeated, and damn, I know it well. All the willows have been fell, and I'm an arboristic fell, and look at all the weeping lumber I've been sending straight to hell. That right there ends our fire-making grind, at least until we either get magics or redwoods, so, that's gonna be quite a while though, so no more fire making for now. But there is something that we have to do that we are by now very familiar with. And that's fletching. Fortunately, we're actually already most of the way there. We only need to get 7 more levels, so we're like halfway. Because how much is 60? So 60 is 274,000 XP, right? We already have 145, so we're over halfway there already. So this really shouldn't be that bad. I've already done a lot of this, and I mean, it will be interesting because we're going to basically double our cash stack, right? Because our current like 80k cash stack or whatever is completely from selling willow longbows to the shop, basically. So we're going to double that. Hopefully we'll reach around 150, 160,000. So that'll be interesting. It'll be nice to have that. Obviously, we don't need the money for anything yet, but we certainly will in the future, and that's going to be a struggle later on. Also, actually, yeah, might as well do this now. I think I have decided to put these on agility because the normal thing that you would put this on, the lamps on an Iron Man, would be Herblore, right? Because that's always annoying to start off with, but we're not going to unlock Herblore for a long time because we'd have to get all the way up to Taverley for Druidic Ritual, right? And really, it wouldn't make sense to put the lamps on anything else as far as I can tell. Because most of these are not hard to unlock. It's just they're going to be like relatively nearby. And obviously, we're not going to have good methods, but the only thing that I can really think that is significantly gated, apart from Herblore, but that's not something that lamps would help, is agility. Because getting all the way over to the Gnome Stronghold, that's really far. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and do that right now just to clear up some inventory space, because we're going to need it. We're going to go ahead and put all 3 of these lamps on agility, getting our first agility XP of the account, which is, it's going to take a while, but you know what? That's it's a kind of side grind, little passive thing, which I think is pretty cool. It's not for any specific chunk completion at the moment, but it'll be nice to have just in general. Look, we're already a third of the way to level 2. So that's pretty cool. Time to get fletching. And that right there is 55 fletching. This is a whole lot slower than fire making by a long shot, but it is more AFK, so I guess it's not the end of the world. Also, I just realized I have my ceiling fan on right now, so there's probably some annoying background noise, but I'm not gonna do anything about it because I'm a garbage human being who doesn't care about the viewing experience. Yeah. Oh, also 66 woodcutting, which is pretty high. Honestly, I wasn't even sure if we were gonna get to 65, so that's pretty cool that we're at 66. That's certainly gonna help later on. That's about it. Oh, also, at some point, I don't know if that was even in the last clip or not, but I got Book of Knowledge, so we can get a little bit more agility experience. That's agility right there. Get some more agility experience. 15, that's pretty good. Look at that. Only 38 more to go. Yeah. I went ahead and made some willow shields because that's just objectively better than my current bronze square shield, but I learned that they require level 30 defense to wear, so I'll probably do that at some point. Now, if you harken back to the rules, you'll remember that I don't need to equip this to complete the chunk because, well, yes, it is probably, well, it's not best in slot because I can make the U1 as well, but the idea is that it's the material that matters, not the item itself. Like, if so, the willow tree is not specific to this chunk, right? Like, these willow trees are, absolutely. That's why I need to chop them. But the concept of a willow shield is not, if that makes sense. But I still would like to be able to wear this, obviously, because it's a straight upgrade. Although, to be honest, I don't know if it'll really be useful for very long, because I might be able to upgrade my shield relatively soon. I don't really know. But yeah, so that's a new fun fact that I learned. You have to get level 30 defense to wear these shields. Wow, that's a level. Wow, another level. It's almost like this game is just about getting levels. It's another level. Only 3 more to go. These are absurdly slow. It's probably, I think it's definitely, no, I think it's almost exactly, actually. Almost exactly half the rate of fire making. So, this is a slow boy right here. But it's happening. Only 3 more levels. I can manage. I'll survive. Okay, what the hell is this? I just logged in for the first time today, and this was not here before. Trust me, I would know. I've spent about 40 hours chopping these 2 trees, and this was not a bar before, so, I assume that's what this is, given that Veos is here. I didn't know this was a thing that was happening, and I find it a little bit suspicious that this building right here, this little house, it existed for, what, probably at least 10 years. And then the instant I decide to go and make a series where I have to stand behind it for 40 hours, they change it? You think that's a coincidence? Absolutely it is, but you know what? I can pretend. Is there anything important here? So I have access to beer. That's new. I didn't have that before, so that's interesting. And I guess there's a quest now. What is the quest? Oh, that's the quest. Functionally, this is meaningless. Like, it doesn't change anything for me, I think. But, you know, it's weird. I don't know anything about this, so this is a whole new thing for me. Sure, I'll help you out. Except I need to get to the Draenor Market. Oh, wait, no. I need to get to treasure. Oh, dude, it's a treasure hunt. That's fun. Oh, dude, it's literally... It's just a free-to-play clue scroll. You know, let's just do it, right? I mean, I can do the first step at least, right? 100% I can do the first step. So let me just grab a spade and see what's up. The second step is also doable. Is this going to be the first clue scroll on this account? Get it? The joke is that it's not really a clue scroll, so isn't that funny? Ha! Well, this is where the adventure ends for this quest, because I'm almost certain that this is to the west, which is not somewhere that we can go. Because remember, our current border, we're still just in the first chunk, so our border is right here, so we can't cross that. So I guess I'll just drop this and do this quest later, because I don't feel like worrying about it right now. It doesn't matter. But yeah, that's interesting. I'm conflicted, certainly, because I'm so used to this old house here. But, you know, I don't care that much, right? I don't think it really matters, so... I don't know. I'll decide later if I like this. This is irrelevant to, like, literally anything, but I've just noticed since I had to restart the client to update the game, my logs cut counter is reset, and I'm sad because that was at like 4,000 and something, and I liked seeing that go up. Now I just have to play a game about numbers going up with one less number going up, so what's even the point anymore, dude? Has anyone noticed how sad this tree over here looks in the level up message? Like, that's honestly just a pathetic tree. It's so... like little, and like what is this little branch here? What are you? I don't know, dude. It looks like it needs to talk about its problems or something. It's like I want to be there for it, but alas, it is only a tree. On the topic of level up messages, why is this arrow so much longer than this arrow? Like, I think it's just that this one is in the foreground, but I don't really understand why. You know, I've never looked at these things before, but now I'm looking at them, it seems weird. Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with it, like, it serves its purpose very well, certainly. Also, that's 58 fletching, so only 2 more. That's still, honestly, we're almost there. 82%? Extremely doable. 50k more. That's probably like 2 or 3 hours. Actually, maybe a little bit more than that. I don't know, but we'll see. It'll happen eventually either way. The exact amount of time is not important. Only 1 more to go. Okay, so in some of the comments, people were asking me to turn on developer mode for RuneLite, and I'd be able to turn on chunk borders. But I learned something by doing this, so here's what I'm using, which are like the map squares. I've been calling them chunks, so I'm going to keep this on because this is very useful to have, of course, because now I don't have to manually mark it out, so that's very nice to be able to just see that. But there's actually another button that shows chunks, and apparently chunks are actually 8x8 little tiles, and I didn't know that. I've been calling them the wrong thing this whole time, but you know what? I feel like that's pretty on brand for me, so I'm going to keep calling them chunks, even though now I acknowledge that it's definitely wrong to be calling them chunks. So for people who care, these blue ones, these are actually chunks. These are map squares, but I don't know. I've already, look, my branding already has chunk in it. My video already has chunk in it. Like, come on, I can't. I don't know, now I feel like I should have been 1 tile man. Although actually that doesn't even really make sense because like I'm not a 1 chunk. Do I have to update my name every time? Like the first tile I get, I call it 2 chunk man, 3 chunk man. That would be a lot of bonds, and I'm not gonna do that. But it is a novel idea regardless. So yeah. Now I have that on the actual client. I don't have to mark it out, so that's pretty nice. I can just see the tile borders. So yeah, if you ever see in the future, if you see weird green lines, that's what that is, and that'll be pretty useful. So I very much appreciate the suggestions in the comments for people telling me to do that, because I didn't even know developer mode existed, so it's certainly a useful feature, and I'm glad to have it. Why has no one ever brought up that, like, the symbol for yin and yang is literally just 69? Like, is that sacrilegious to say that? I feel like it might be. Why don't you sack this religious? Got him. Wow, look at that. He did it. It's 60 fletching. Wow, look at that. We can make adamantite arrows. Wow, look at that. It's some muse seeds. Wow, look at that. It's some agility experience. It's been in my inventory for about like a day and I just didn't use it for some reason. There we go. Wow, look at that. We made 78,000 gold off of this grind. What the heck? This is some crazy stuff. Okay, so I guess I'll just like sell the last inventory and then go chop, burn, and fletch some U-logs. I can say that, dude. That's crazy. Look at that. It's a yellow bar up here. I guess it's more of like a goldenrod, not really a yellow, right? It's sort of like the orange, yellow, goldenrod-y kind of color. You gotta work with my Crayola knowledge. It's been a while since I've used a crayon, so you know sometimes that kind of slips your mind, but it's close enough, right? So yeah, I guess I'll just go get an axe, get a tinderbox, and go down there, because I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we have to do here, and I'll definitely double check like off camera just to make sure, like do a full sweep, make sure we don't have another gaffe like last time. But I think that's everything for the chunk. Also, where's my axe? Oh, I'm wielding the axe. Okay, yeah, I'm dumb. All right. But yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, actually, there is one thing. I can come over here, talk to the Duke, and I can start. Well, if I could use the door at least, I can start Rune Mystery. Because remember, we got to do as much of every quest that we can. Obviously, we can't complete Rune Mysteries, but it's at least doing something, you know. So it's completing every step of that I can. So obviously, we can't do any more of that because we'd have to go all the way over to the Wizard's Tower, which we can't do. So not doing that, but I mean eventually. I mean we have the like. Also, by the way, when I finish this trunk, I'm just gonna use this trunk as the next trunk because I already generated that last episode, and I feel like it would be cheating to redo that, you know. So it is gonna be the west trunk that we're doing next. I haven't actually explicitly stated that. So yeah, are you guys ready? Well, I don't care whether or not you're ready, because this is a video and I can't hear you because you don't even know that this exists. I haven't even like edited this together. It hasn't been uploaded. That's probably not going to happen for another like week. So basically get fucked, idiot. Sorry, that was mean. You know, for someone who got 69 woodcutting, this sure is taking a long. Never mind, I got one. I didn't even pay attention. When did that get there? Well, we actually need two because we need to burn one and we need to fletch one. So, still taking a long time. There we go. Holy shit, they give 175 woodcutting XP? That's like a lot. Wow, have I ever even chopped yew trees before as like a training method? I don't know. So, moment of truth. We burn a yew log. Look at that. It's burning 202 experience. That's pretty crazy. Oh my god. And then we use a knife on the yew log. Oh, look at that. We just made arrow shafts. Oh my god, 150 arrow shafts in like 2 ticks or whatever. Dude, I'm gonna chop the rest of this yew tree just for fun. Just to show that I can. Oh my god, it's so satisfying. Damn. Dude, how did I get to be so goddamn cool? How am I just such an absolute baller? Look at these stats. 60 fire making, 69 wood cutting, 60 fletching, all in the first chunk, except for when I didn't understand my rules and went to the second chunk. But let's pretend that never happened, okay, guys? It's just a little secret between you and me. I'm just, sorry, I'm rambling a lot. I'm gonna stop that, and I'm gonna figure out what happens next. I was exploring Lumbridge, and I accidentally teleported to the Theater of Blood. So, I didn't know you could do that. What is happening? Does this count? Did I ruin the account? How do I get home? I've never even met this NPC before. I just talked to her, and I was like, sure. And now I'm here. How do I leave? Oh, there's a button here. Okay, I figured out how to leave. Does that count as cheating? Because I just came up here. I've never been to this room before. Like, I didn't even know this existed. And she just has an onion and a ball that teleports you to Theater of Blood. So that's strange. Huh. So there actually is one more thing that I need to do in this chunk. If you refer to my active versus passive skilling spreadsheet, you'll see that cook highest tier food is one of the skilling goals. So as far as I'm aware, chicken is the highest tier food in this chunk. So I need to cook some chicken, but I don't think I have access to a range at the moment, so I will also have to grab a tinderbox and an axe. Now, there might be a range down here. We definitely can't use the cook's range, though, because that requires completion of cook's assistant, so we haven't unlocked that yet. Is there a range over here? I actually don't know. I don't see one, but there's a tree right here. We can just use that because we have trained our wood cutting and fire making. There we go. Look at that. Oh. Oops. Okay. Wait, what? How did I get it that quickly? Did I cook things before? Huh. Okay. I mean, I'll cook more of them, because why not? Nope. So this is an interesting question. For the skilling challenge, should it be required that I have to successfully cook it? And I think the answer is almost certainly yes. So, yeah, I'm going to say yes. For the skilling challenge, I have to successfully cook it. Just a regular burn does not count. That's my rule. We just made this up. Is there anything else? Oh, yeah. So, well, you'd also have to successfully complete a lap of an agility course. You couldn't just fall off the first obstacle and say that's done. Like, I feel like that's pretty obvious, right? So yeah, you have to successfully complete whatever goal it is. That makes sense in my mind. That probably won't cause any problems because most things that you can fail are easily repeatable. So yeah, I guess now, as far as I'm aware, now it's certainly possible that I'm still being a complete moron, but as far as I'm aware, we have completed all of the content in this chunk according to my rules, which are now clearly spelled out, and it's objective whether or not something is required. So that's certainly an improvement over last episode. Oh, what last episode? This is episode 1. What are you talking about? We never made any mistakes. Thank you for recognizing how perfect and infallible I am. So, for the uninitiated, last episode, back when our rules were garbage and we did things wrong, this was the next chunk we unlocked. So, that's where we're gonna go. I guess now the main goals initially right off the bat, so we need to cut the highest tier gem, and the gems that we can get we can thieve from ham members, which, let's see, sorry, my UI blindness is kicking in. So the best gems that we can do, we can get jade. So we're gonna have to get up to jade, which is 13 crafting. We can train that either by pickpocketing gems and cutting them, or by shearing sheep and spinning the wool. I'll probably end up shearing the sheep. It's only like 2 XP per ball of wool, but I think that it's more consistent because actually trying to pickpocket enough gems and polished buttons, or I guess non-polished buttons into polished buttons, that takes a long time and is very random, so we're probably not going to want to do that. Also, we actually have to get the levels to pickpocket the male ham guard, which I believe, yeah, so, like, they're the highest tier pickpocketable enemy. So that's also a requirement for something that we have to do. So we will have to get 20 thieving for that, which we'll probably get just in the meantime. Oh, actually, we're going to have to pickpocket men until we get to 15 thieving. That's going to be a little bit painful, isn't it? I guess it's not going to be that bad, but yeah, we will have to pickpocket men until 15 because there's no other way that we can get thieving right now apart from that. I think that's the main content here, right? Yeah, so I guess I'll just pickpocket men until 15 and see you then. Okay, I was extremely wrong. This is not going to be painful at all because I forgot that low levels literally take 1 second to go through. Like, watch this bar in the top. Watch how quickly this goes up. If I pickpocket him once, that's like a 20th of the bar. This is so easy. Like, dude, I'm so used... Like, I almost have 70 woodcutting. I forgot what it's like to be level 7 in something. Like, this is actually absurd how quick this is, comparatively. Like, this is like, This is like, I'm like a 70-year-old man who has suddenly regained all of his youth. Like, I have to jump back into the... This is just like the movie Big, but instead of it being like a child into an adult, it's an elderly man into a baby of virility and energy. Like, look at that. I'm already 22% of the way there. It's been about 1 minute. Like, I've been talking this whole time. This is, well, okay, it's going to be annoying if he punches me every single time, you know. But the point I'm trying to make is that the contrast here is incredible, and I am a very happy human being right now, okay? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Holy shit, dude. The one level that I'm supposed to get is, like, the only one I missed, except I think I totally missed a level earlier, so that's just a straight up lie. But, you know, I'm a little bit annoyed. But yeah, we just got through it. That was probably the hardest grind on the account so far. I thought I was going to be pickpocketing this man for eternity. It was really a struggle. Get it? The joke is that it wasn't very hard. It took like 20 minutes tops. And honestly, 20 minutes is probably generous. That's pushing it. So yeah, we got 15 thieving. We can go pickpocket some ham guards now. But actually, before we do that, you know what we should do? I feel like people would probably be interested in this. Let's go find Hans. He's wandering around here somewhere, probably. Or he's not. Wait, where is he? What kind of boundaries? Oh, there he is. Okay. So we're going to go check with Hans. We're going to see how old our account is. Holy shit, I've been playing this for over 60 hours. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. So, yeah. I mean... I guess the ratio of time played to time since account started looks pretty low, but that's because I just kind of stopped playing for like a week after the first episode came out. So, yeah. Okay, no, I'm just kind of feeling in my mind. I'm like, that's 60. Well, that's how many hours is that? It's 24 times 24, 48. That's 70 hours. Holy shit, dude. That's a lot of hours. But yeah, now that we've got our 15 thieving, I'm just gonna thieve wait, actually before we go, before we go there, I want to bring a chisel, because with a chisel we can cut the opal that we get. That's what it's called, opal. So we can cut the opal, we'll get a little bit of crafting. It's not going to be enough to be significant, but you know, it's better than nothing. And it'll just be a little bit of pickpocketing to kind of scope out the kind of stuff that they drop, you know? Because I'm not, like, I could use the wiki, but honestly, I don't trust the wiki after the goblin and imp incident last time. I mean, I'll still use it, obviously, but I think it would be a good idea just for me to thieve a little bit and just see what kind of stuff we can get. That'll be a fun time. Yeah. Apparently, entering the ham hideout drains your thieving? Since when is that a thing, dude? I have never noticed that before. So I could just chill in here until I regen the thieving. Because I don't want to pickpocket more men. It only took like 20 minutes, but that's like, it's boring though. And I don't want to do that. I already boosted up 1 level, so yeah, I'm just going to wait until 15, I guess. Hopefully we can get a level before we get kicked out, because that's going to be really annoying if we just get kicked out and then we have to wait for it to regen again. But you know what? That's the sacrifice that I'm willing to make. So in our first trip, we got like 10 successful pickpockets and got kicked out. So this is gonna take some time, but I'm dedicated, so whatever. I've already spent 60 hours on this nonsense. Why not just spend 2,000 more? It'll be fine. I just leveled up from trying to pick this lock, and I'm pretty sure it gives you 1 XP at a time, so that's certainly interesting. I don't know, like, I've certainly never seen that happen, and I've never even considered it as an option. But, yeah, I guess that opens up the realm of possibilities. Like, we could just train 99 thieving just on this trap door. Or I could just... No, I probably shouldn't say that. Something that's kind of neat is these guys drop logs and chicken and anchovies, so I can train my cooking a little bit. So I guess I'll do that too. Why not? Even with 17 thieving, this trapdoor still drains me down. It's really frustrating, dude, but we'll make it. So I got to 20 thieving. I didn't get anything mind-blowing. I got 2 pieces of the ham outfit, so the cape and the shirt. What is interesting is I now have a source of coal and a source of iron. So as soon as I have an actual method to train smithing, as far as I'm aware, there's no way for me to train smithing right now. As soon as I have a method of training smithing, making a steel bar will be a requirement for me to do, because that's now something that, well, that's the highest tier bar that I can make, but unfortunately that's actually not an option yet, because there is no way to get to the 15 smithing that I need, or what, actually I don't even know what smithing level do you need. So I need to be 30 for steel. Okay, that's going to be a struggle, but yeah, as soon as I unlock the Lumbridge Swamp will probably be the first time I can do it. I guess I'll have to get 30 smithing by mining tin and copper and then going up and then smelting that. So I guess that's a grind to look forward to. Whoops. That's going to be unfortunate. But yeah, that is because now I have a reliable source of coal and iron. I can deliberately grind that out. I also have a reliable source of cowhides now, which if I don't unlock the cow pastures, like before, like if I unlock the, let me see how this would work. So the cows are up here, right? If I unlock this tile and then this tile right here, I'll have access to the tannery, but not cowhide. But the thing is, that's okay because I have access to cowhide here, so that's fine. But unfortunately, I can't tan it at the moment because obviously I can't get to Alcarid and we don't have a lunar diplomacy anytime soon. But yeah. We also have a new best in slot pickaxe with the steel pickaxe there, so that's pretty cool to have. That's about all the significant stuff that I can think of. Interestingly, I got 4 jades, but I only got 1 opal the whole time, so that is definitely not a legitimate way to be training crafting. So yeah, we're not going to be training crafting by pickpocketing those ham members. So I guess what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and just like bank everything and start on the ball of wool grind. So yeah, I'm going to just go grab where are my shears at? I had some shears here. Here they are. So yeah, I'll just be grabbing a full inventory of wool, bring it up, and I'll just show kind of how much XP I get from that. That's going to be our grind for right now, I guess, up until we get to the point where we can cut the jade at 13. Here's an interesting aspect of getting the wool here. I can't cross this border here. I can cross over here. I've unlocked this chunk, but I can't go up here. So a lot of the times the sheep will just run away back over that border and I just can't do anything about it. So this is definitely slower than it would otherwise be because I can basically shear every sheep down here before the first one respawns. So it's definitely a little bit slower than maybe it should be, but you know, it's okay. We'll manage. Are you guys ready for the sick gains? Wow, look at that. Actually, that's better than I thought it would be, because I thought it was just 2 experience. Turns out it's 2.5. Wow, this is, I mean, honestly, it's not horrible. It's pretty horrible. I take that back. This is actually horrible. So it probably took me like 3 minutes just to get this inventory because the sheep kept running away and I kept failing the shears. So this is going to take a really long time. Fortunately, I only have to get to 13. So it's not like horrible, but it's pretty bad. So I'm gonna definitely not have a good time with this. But you know, there's level 2 crafting. That's something. Yeah, no, I can already tell. I'm really gonna hate this. Whoops. This is really slow. Meow. 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 11. It's like we're back at level 1 again, but instead of 1, it's 1. That's like double the 1. Only one more to go. Wow. That was incredibly mind-numbing, but we made it through. Honestly, the actual length of the grind wasn't that bad. It only took a couple hours. Like, I just started this today and finished this today, and I mean, I woke up at like noon. It's 4 right now. I took a little break in the middle, but you know, it's not necessarily that the length was too much. It was just I'm gonna say experience, but I don't mean experience as an XP. I mean experience as in the time I had while doing it. It was just mind-numbing because like you have to chase after the sheep and they kept running back across the border, and I just have to wait for the wool to respawn. I could have world hopped, but I really didn't feel like doing that, so that probably could have been done more efficiently. But regardless, it's over now. I've done it. So I guess that's pretty cool. I'll go ahead and cut that jade now. Now I think I have 4 jades in the bank, so the best thing that could possibly happen here is that I try to cut all of them and they all shatter. That would be incredible if that happens, but I think we can get at least one of them. Oh, also, I forgot I had these buttons. How much do these... Oh, it's just 5. So that could have saved me like maybe half an inventory, but I don't think it matters. So yeah, I could have done that too. I just completely forgot about that. So we're going to go ahead and cut these guys. Hopefully at least one of them is successful. Okay, good start. All right, there we go. So 50-50, that's pretty good. I'm okay with those odds. So we've successfully completed that skilling challenge there. Get to the crafting level to cut the highest tier gem that we can reliably access. And now that I have access to these as a crafting method, it'll mean when I unlock Al Kharid and get that sapphire, like I have a sapphire, so I could technically grind for that now, but it's not a requirement because this sapphire was from a random event. So I think it's from Rick Turpentine. So like that's not a chunk based thing. That just passively happens. So once I unlock Al Kharid in the gemstall, I will have to cut a sapphire, but I could just grind out a bunch of jades and use those as a training method because they will be useful in the future. Like all these balls of wool, I made 740 balls of wool. Those, like, certainly I could use some of them, but I definitely don't need all of those, so they're not really useful to the account. But if I grind out a bunch of jades, it might take longer than the balls of wool, but it will have use in the future, so I think that's what I would go for. I mean, assuming that I don't unlock the tannery. Well, I guess I can't unlock the tannery without first unlocking... Actually, let me see. How does that work? Because we have a chunk right here. Yeah, so we can't actually unlock... Wait, hold up. Maybe we can. No, we definitely can't. So we can't unlock the tannery without first unlocking the gemstall. So when we unlock this chunk right here, we will have to be able to cut a sapphire before being able to train crafting through tanning. And hold up, actually, maybe here's something interesting. I think we'll be able to buy molds. And I don't think that's useful because we don't have a reliable access to gold. Like we got our first gold bars from a random event during the sheep shearing. So technically we could get a tiny bit of XP just from doing molds, but that's not reliable. So yeah, basically that chunk is going to be all about the gem shop there. We're just going to have to do more crafting, which I'll probably do through Thieving Hand Members, because we're going to need the thieving experience anyway, and maybe I can do some clue juggling stuff, maybe get an easy clue done, because that could be a fun time. If we actually get an easy clue that's completable, like we get a couple of them on the ground and just juggle through them. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that I need to do right now? Because I've successfully pickpocketed the top pickpocketable enemy, which was the male ham member. So I did that because we got 20 thieving. And as far as I'm aware, there are no best in slot drops from them that I'm missing. I could just go for the full ham outfit just because that's going to be useful, but I mean, we're going to get that eventually. So I think that's not a huge deal. I think that might actually be... Sorry, I'm just going to take a minute. I'm just going to make sure I'm not missing anything dumb like last time. Okay, so yeah, let me figure out if I've completed this or not. So I just realized two things. Number one, I have not been recording any game audio this whole time, so hopefully that hasn't been too noticeable. Maybe you guys didn't even notice. Maybe I'm just super cool and great at making things, and I'm just overthinking this. But if you did notice, my apologies. I fixed that now, so there is game audio. And number two, I actually have the total level to vote in polls, which is kind of crazy to me. Like, that just seems, I guess it's just a really low total level that you need, because you need 300, right? Or like 250 or something, which is pretty weird. So I guess I can do that now, because I mean, this poll booth is here, so might as well. Just wanted to update you guys with that. Nothing actually important. Here's a dumb little thing I forgot. I never actually started Restless Ghost, which I can begin, so I need to go ahead and do that. I don't think I can get very far, but you know, it's, yeah, literally the first step is to go to the swamp, which obviously I can't do. I can't go below this line. Also, I can't even go talk to the ghost because it's past that too. So that's pretty meaningless, but I mean, symbolically now that is yellow here, which is important. So we got that done. And as far as I can tell, if I'm correct, which I think I am this time, I think I'm actually for real done with both of these trunks now. So what that means is that we need to go ahead and choose the next chunk to unlock, or not choose, but generate the next chunk that we're unlocking. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, now that we've completed this chunk right here, we have a selection of 6 chunks that we can generate from now. So we have the 3 from before, we have the one up here, which will unlock, not sure if it'll unlock anything. Oh, it'll unlock the milk, of course it will. What am I talking about? So that'll let us complete Cook's Assistant. This one right here, that'll unlock the gem stall, which means we'll have to grind up until... Ooh, they might actually sell emeralds, so I might actually have to grind up to emeralds. I'll have to double check that. I don't know. They definitely sell sapphire, so I'll have to do that. If they sell emeralds, that's going to be really painful, so I hope that I don't go to that chunk, but we'll see. Then there's 5 right here, which will unlock the smithing for us, because mining and smithing, because we can get copper and tin right here, bring it up to Lumbridge and smelter right here. And because I have the ham members unlocked over here, I have access to iron and coal, which means steel is a possibility, which is 30 smithing. So I will have to do bronze bars up until 30 smithing. There's also no anvil here, so I can't actually turn the bars into anything as far as I'm aware. So that'll be a little bit of a painful grind, but I mean, I've done worse, probably. Maybe, actually, I don't know. Depending on, I don't know how long that would take. That might actually be awful. We'll see, though. So those were the 3 chunks that we could have unlocked before. Then there's number 4 right here. We'll be able to do the next step of the Restless Ghost quest, and there's some sort of mining here. I don't know if there's anything that we can level 1 mine. There might be. If there is, then we can unlock mining and maybe some smithing, which will actually be worse if we can do smithing here, because that's further away than this one. But so that would be a possibility. We also unlock the Lumbridge Caves, but the problem with that is the only light source that we can get at the moment, I believe, is the candle salesman right here. And the thing is, candles ignite the swamp gas in the Lumbridge Swamp Caves, so I don't know. That's going to be really difficult to do. We're going to have to figure out if there's anything in the caves that we need to do. We will have to figure that out, but for right now, let's not worry about it. We'll just worry about it when the time comes. Up here, it looks like we actually unlock a milk cow as well, assuming that's what this little bell is. I think that means it's a dairy cow. And so that'll mean we'll unlock Cook's Assistant, which is pretty cool. I don't think there's anything else super meaningful here. Over here is where we get interesting, because first of all, wait, hold up. Veos is actually here now, isn't he? Because of the most recent update. So this tile would mean that we could start unlocking Zaya next. Because it used to be over here, and or even down here maybe, so it was further away. But now, Zaya can actually come very soon, which I didn't even think about. So yeah, if we unlock this, We'll also unlock fishing, which is pretty awesome. We'll have a new bank, which is fun. We can get the Master Farmer, so we'll have to thieve up to Master Farmer. And I think that's just about everything in this area, that's a decent amount of content. We'll do fishing. We'll have to do cooking as well, because that's cooking the highest tier fish that we can fish is an element of that. So we'll have to be able to cook the fish as well. So that'll unlock 2 skills right there. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear that burp. It wasn't even really a burp. It was just a throat noise. It was kind of gross. I don't know why I'm drawing attention to it. I could have just kept going, but now I'm talking about it. So you know what? Fuck it. Whatever. We've already addressed it. What else is over here? Let's see. I think there's some stalls that we can thieve. Maybe we could get some interesting stuff from there. We would also be one step closer to the Wizard's Tower to complete Imp-Catcher and any content that we can do over here. And as far as I know, so that's actually really interesting to me because of Zeah. That would get us very close to unlocking Zeah. And Zeah is going to be a whole nother beast because there's so much room on Zeah and there's a whole lot of nothing really in a lot of places. So Zeah is going to be interesting because if we unlock a chunk on Zeah, half of them will already be completed because there's nothing there to do, right? So that'll mean there's a lot of chunks being unlocked really fast, which could be pretty interesting. So those are the chunks that are happening. So 6, I don't really want right now. 4 and 5, I'm indifferent about. They could be interesting. 1 and 2 would probably be done like almost instantly because we just get the milk and then that would be the chunk, right? But then there's 3, which I'm excited about. So I guess I'll stop talking about it and we'll actually go forth and generate our random number here. So from 1 to 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm looking for a 3, just trying to avoid a 6 mainly. So let's see what happens. We got a 5. All right, I can definitely work with that. That actually unlocks fishing. I completely forgot to mention that. So that's actually pretty cool. That unlocks fishing. It unlocks mining and smithing. We're going to have to do a lot of smithing. So that's certainly going to be a little bit painful, but you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm kind of into it, honestly. I'm actually excited. You know what? I think actually 5 is probably the second best option behind 3. 3 and 5 would be the most fun ones to do. So yeah, that's going to actually be pretty cool because I like fishing as a skill. And actually, hold up. This also unlocks fishing up here, doesn't it? Because we have access to feathers, technically, because we have the ham members that we can pickpocket. We don't have any chickens as far as I'm aware, so the feathers they take a long time to get, but you can get feathers, so we'll also be able to fly fish. So I think now, yeah, a new goal of ours is going to be, first of all, of course, we have the steel that I mentioned earlier, so we'll have to mine and smith until 30 so that we can make a bar of steel. But also, I think we're going to have to fish until either 30 or 40 because we have salmon here that I think, oh, hold up. I'm not sure if I can get a fly fishing rod, so that might actually be a pipe dream there. That might not be something that we can do until we get all the way over here to the fishing shop. I'll have to check that. But yeah, I'm going to just quickly scout out what we need to do. I came down here just to check it out, and there are a couple of notable things right off the bat. Number 1, there's this quest here that I forgot existed, so I can just do that immediately. There's no requirements for it, and you don't need any items. So, and that's just its own instance, so that counts as within this chunk. There is, unfortunately, there are no fishing rods or fly fishing rods that I can get as far as I can tell. Yeah, and since I already have 17 fishing, I actually don't need to grind at all because I just got 17 fishing just through the Bob random events. I've gotten like 3 or 4 of those. I think I maybe got 4 because I think you get from 3 you get 15 fishing and then you get 17 for the next one. So all I have to do is just catch an anchovy, which is literally like, because that's the highest fish I can get, right? There's nothing above that net wise, and net is all that we can get because that's just what spawns in the ground right over here. So as soon as I get an anchovy, which should happen any second, that's the highest tier fish that we can currently get. So before we can actually do proper fishing up here, with fly fishing or with bait fishing right here, we will have to find a fishing shop, which the closest one is in Port Sarim, which shouldn't take an insanely long amount of time, but honestly, at this point, we have 8 different chunks that we could unlock, and that's only going to grow almost exponentially, maybe actually exponentially. I don't really... Actually, yeah, probably exponentially. That makes sense math-wise, probably. Actually, no, it's actually kind of linear, or even below linear. It kind of curves downward, so it might actually be a decay, sort of, or it's like an S shape. You know what? It's been a while since I took calculus, okay? I don't quite know what I'm talking about. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that it might take longer to get over there than it seems like it would, because currently, yeah, we have a chunk over there, but we could easily go anywhere else right now, so it's going to be pretty random. Something that I'm also not sure about is, since we got this chunk down here, is this also an eligible chunk to unlock? I need to figure that out right now, because I might have to rewrite part of the rules. Also, it's a fishing level. I wasn't paying attention. That's interesting. I might have to rewrite part of the rules to make it so that only borders that are accessible count. But I'm not sure, because otherwise that would be kind of dumb, right? Like, if I unlock this chunk, there's lots of content in there, but I can't actually walk there because I would have to unlock this chunk first. So I think that'll probably be a rule that I write. I'll figure that out, though. It's not super important right now. But I'll definitely figure that out before I unlock the next chunk. So yeah, then of course we got the mining and smithing that we're talking about. So that's going to be the really only grind that we have to do here as far as I can tell. So I'll do a little bit of that just to see what kind of, oh, yeah, that's true. I forgot you need levels for that. Okay, so I'll go get the real pickaxe and come back down and figure that out. Unrelated to anything really, but we have access to a range now, and since we got the anchovies and shrimp, here's a relatively easy way to train cooking right now. We don't need that at the moment, but if we unlock any new fish, we will have to cook up to them as well, but that shouldn't be too hard to do. I didn't know this, but each bronze bar is 6.5 experience, and it takes quite a while to mine these at my current mining level. So I can tell right off the bat this is going to be absolutely awful. Whoops. I guess we're just going to have to learn to live with that. Hopefully it speeds up, but honestly, I'll try to figure out if there's a faster way, but I don't think there is. I think this is just going to be what we're going to have to do. There's no hidden anvils around here, are there? Because that would be extremely useful if that were the case. But I don't think there are. So, looking at the actual numbers here, I have to smelt, what is that, around 2,000 bronze bars. That's painful. But I mean, that's the rules. I didn't make them. Get it? The jokes that I did make them. Because, I mean, yeah, the definition in the rules for highest tier is the intentionally grindable, repeatable thing. And you can absolutely intentionally grind and repeat getting the iron and coal from the ham members. So this is absolutely required, the steel. I'm not gonna renege on that. Like, it's gonna happen. It's just gonna take a really long time. And as far as I'm aware, there's no other way to do this. I think this is the only valid method that I have at the moment to train smithing. So, yeah, it's gonna be a while, but actually I'm already 1% of the way there. So, like, I only need to do 100 more of these, you know? Like, that's a lot. Yeah. And I don't like that, saying it out loud. But it's doable, right? I think it is, at least. Something that's not awful about this is our mining levels are going up a whole lot faster than our smithing. We got 3 smithing, 10 mining already, so I guess this will make it so that when we unlock mining stuff later, it'll be a little bit faster, but certainly not the most efficient way to be doing this. I can already tell that this was a massive mistake. So this might seem like a little bit of an anticlimactic end, given that we've just started a grind. We haven't really completed anything super amazing, but actually we have done quite a bit today. Or not today, but in this episode, we completed our fletching, we completed our fire making, we unlocked a new chunk, we did our crafting. We've done quite a bit so far. And this smithing here it's just the start of the smithing. It's going to take a long time to really get anywhere with this. So I guess before we end the episode, I'd like to just address a little bit of feedback. Number one, the episodes will be staying around this long. This is just the kind of content that personally I enjoy consuming, and it's actually easier for me to create than a small episode, because with a small episode, I have to find the content, condense it to the point where it feels like it's too much if that makes sense. Like, it's so dense that I feel like it's leaving stuff out, which sounds contradictory, but that's just how my personal feelings on it. So the episodes are going to be staying this long, I think. I don't think there's going to be any episodes that are like under an hour. I think that's just going to be the norm. So apologies if that's not your kind of content, but that's just how it's going to be. So I understand it's not for everyone, and I'm sorry if that's not what you're looking for. And the final thing that I just want to say before this episode is over is I just want to say how incredibly blown away I am by the amount of attention and support this has gotten. Like, I didn't expect this video to be anything good. Like, honestly, I expected to get like a couple hundred views, if that, and then it would just fall off the face of the earth, never to be seen again. And the fact that it's gotten as much traction as it has is insane to me. Like, to put it in perspective, basically the way that my mind works is when I create something, like in the process of creating something, I have sort of delusions of grandeur. Like when I'm making something, I feel like it's amazing. It's just so good. And like, for example, when I made the first episode of this series, I was thinking, wow, this is just incredible. It blows everything else out of the water. It's wonderful. It's going to be perfect. But then as soon as I actually finish, render, and like upload, or if I just finished a piece of work and I put it out there, I immediately, there's a switch that flips my brain and I just hate it. I get so much anxiety over it and I think it's just awful. So like there was a part of me that legitimately wanted to just delete the first episode and just not upload it and never even mention it to anybody. And obviously I'm really grateful that I didn't do that, and it's certainly something that I have gotten better at avoiding and understanding that it's just irrational anxiety. And I'm not saying the first episode was perfect. It was honestly, I still think the first episode was kind of bad, to be completely honest with you, but obviously there are plenty of people who think otherwise, so I'm certainly thankful for that. But what I'm trying to say is that the level of support and positivity has honestly been unprecedented to the point of insanity, and I'm incredibly grateful and thankful for that. So I'm really happy that people legitimately have enjoyed watching and have supported and have like looked forward. Like there are so many people asking for the next episode, and the fact that people legitimately are enjoying something that I've created is really, honestly, it's so incredibly motivational, and I'm just, it's something that I don't experience often. So I'm really happy that you guys have enjoyed what I've made so far, and I'm really glad that I've been able to create something that you guys can look forward to. So I'll definitely be doing my best to continue this going forward. I'll try to put out as much content as I can. I'll try to get on stream just so I can interact with you guys, because honestly, I'd love to talk to all you guys and get to know you and interact with you and just figure out who you guys are. Because I mean, you know a decent amount about me now. You've watched me for, what, 3 hours now? But I mean, there are so many of you, and I want to get to know all of you just because I'm so amazed at how much support and positivity there is. And I'm really glad that I went through with this and am able to do this now. It's something that I honestly never really thought would actually happen. Obviously, just in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get so big, it's gonna be crazy. But it's like, you never legitimately believe that's going to be the case. Like, I'm not that vain to think that that would have actually happened, but the fact that there has been this much traction and widespread support is something that's incredible to me. So I'm really glad that that's happened. Basically, what I'm trying to say in my long-winded, rambly ways is that I'm really thankful for all of this, and I'm really happy that I've created something that you guys can enjoy, and I hope that this continues in the future, and I can continue creating something that you guys can look forward to seeing and enjoy watching, and I hope that all you guys can just check in on the stream every once in a while, just say hi, or if you don't like that, just wait, watch the next episode, just give me some feedback, say how you felt about it. I mean, I'm still... It's very much overwhelming, because this is something that is so alien to me. The fact that this kind of, like, this is just me talking for an hour and a half, essentially, right? And people are liking that, and it's just so strange to me. But it's a really good feeling. And I'm not trying to be vain or anything. I'm not saying, like, oh, I wouldn't do this if there wasn't support, like if I didn't get all the views, if I didn't get, like, it's not like I'm holding a hostage, I'm saying, hey, if I don't get 10,000 likes, I won't release the next episode. Like, obviously, no, I'm not doing that. But I'm just saying, like, it's so internally motivating and supporting. Like, it might not seem like much, but like, the level of just ridiculous support this has gotten is just crazy to me. I've said it about 20 times. You guys are definitely right. I definitely repeat myself way too much, and I've seen that feedback a lot. I might have honestly already said something about this earlier. I don't remember if I cut that or not. But yeah, I'm just gonna end this now. I just want to say thanks. I hope you drop by the stream. If you don't, that's cool too. I hope you keep on watching. But if you don't like it, don't watch. That's cool too. I mean, you guys you do your own thing, live your life. I hope you guys are all gonna have a wonderful day and wonderful week, a wonderful month, a wonderful rest of your life. And I'm really glad that I could be a part of it.